the Geiser Show, Year 3, Episode 8. I'm Dave Crackerster alongside Coach Geiser here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ashland, Ohio. And welcome in. Big opportunity for Coach to talk about this past weekend. Another big win for your team. First and foremost, your thoughts on that one?
The guys did a tremendous job. Came out of the chute, offense especially. Firing all cylinders, no punts in the first half, and kind of set a tone and were able to follow through in the second half. And it's a good team win. Team win.
I was about to say too, Coach. I mean, I know you always talk about coming out of the halftime break strong. Well, your defense really did, shutting them out in half number 2, through quarters 3 and 4. Talk a little about the adjustments you made at the break.
Well, just kind of more than anything, getting back to fundamentals. There wasn't anything earth-shattering system-wise or scheme-wise. It was just, making sure you go back and follow your fundamentals, your techniques, put your eyes where they're supposed to be, tackle in open space. And so I know it doesn't sound sexy, but those were the adjustments that were made.
Of course, too. And before we dive into what we've got today on the show, I got to mention it. Manaki Watanabe being honored as a Special Teams Player of the Week in the conference. What does that mean to the team and the abilities that he's been able to perform with this year?
If I had to guess, I'd say it's probably a team award. The team put him in a situation where he's able to make the field goal, and the cover team down and kickoff did a great job as well, even though he's putting it in touchback situations. So. I don't know. You probably have to ask him personally, but it's great recognition for our guys and all the work he puts in.
Yeah, and who do we have coming on the show today?
Well, we've got Coach Garrett Turnbull, AU alum, AU football alum, and current wide receivers coach. We have Brock Henny, tight end, and we have corner, Jelon Jackson.
Should be a great show. Well, alongside all of that, we've got our specialty segment coming up here in just about 3 segments or so, where we've got 3 individuals who will be partaking in the Blazin' Challenge for a fundraiser that they're doing that we'll talk about here in just a few segments, but should be good.
Can I give my favorite on the event?
Let's see it.
I think it's going to be Brad Kildew.
Brad Kildew.
I think he's going to win. He's a dark horse favorite.
I think so too. I think Brad Kildew's going to win the whole thing. But it should be great to see what they're going to perform with the Blazin' Challenge. We've talked about it a lot. It's a scary challenge. They better be ready. But we'll step aside, join you back here soon. As a reminder, you don't want to miss out on the many things to come here on the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3, Episode 8.
Need a construction team that can do it all? Bo Lacey Construction delivers experience you can trust. Done right on time, with free estimates and special financing offered for roofing, siding, gutters, windows, bathrooms, decks, to the highest standards of excellence, quality, and knowledge in the industry. Bring your next project to life with Bo Lacey Construction.
Here for the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3 here at Buffalo Wild Wings. I'm WRDL correspondent Louis Tamira.
And I'm AUTV correspondent Bryce Gatton.
We're sitting here with Coach. It's time to do our weekly breakdown and ask you a couple of questions, pick your brain about this past week's game, and for the 5th week in a row, this past week's win. Now, we talk about those 5 wins in a row from your perspective. What has led to the success of the past 5 weeks?
Well, I could give you a one-word answer and just say, I won't do that to you. But really, it's the guys are growing together as a team. And even though we have a lot of guys back from the last couple of years, each team has its own personality, its own heart, its own soul. So even though you might have played next to a guy last year, it's a different guy really this year in a lot of respects. So they're learning how to play together, executing the game plan, doing a better job as far as blocking and run efficiency for us on offense. And on defense, doing a tremendous job all year stopping the run. So that's been a consistent there. Secondary is doing a great job against the pass too, and special teams has changed the game when they've had the opportunity.
Absolutely.
And you talked about the run game. You guys were pretty run heavy. You rushed 38 times. Is that kind of the game plan going into the day, or is that something that you picked up as the game went on that was something you could go to again and again?
I think it was more than anything, it was an adjustment to what they were doing and the success we had. We've never been able really to run the ball like that against an Ohio Dominican team. They're always really salty against the run. So, having some success there, we knew it's always something we could go back to keep drives alive. And as it progressed to, the 3-yard gains became 6, became 8. And so it was more of an adjustment than an idea going in.
And then Cade mentioned Naki Watanabe won GMAC after the week. He hit that 50-yard field goal. It's the only one of the day. How much has he worked to kind of like earn your trust to send him out there for in a situation like that?
He's stepped up to the plate every single time this year that we've asked him to, and I see how hard he works in the off season. The odd hours he's out on the Jack Miller Stadium, just kind of working by himself, and so just his consistent production allows me to think. He always told me his range was 50, which I guess now we got confirmation that that's the case. But it was just kind of a feel at that point that we were on. He kicked well in pregame, so just kind of went with the gut.
All right, and then moving on to the defense, of course, 4 TFLs, 3 sacks this week. Go ahead and talk about Tim Rose just a little bit, highlight his impact on this defense as a whole.
He's a mad scientist. He truly is. And I made a comment earlier this week with with Dusty in our interview that he's forgotten twice the amount of football I'll ever know. And he's in his 62nd year of football. He's got a tremendous staff, a lot of consistency in the staff and in the system. And we've recruited to it, and it's nice to see it all kind of come together, what his vision is, and I'll take it. I'm glad he's a part of our staff.
Absolutely, and now looking at we looked at the last 5 games, the last 3 games, you scored 31, and you didn't let up more than 14. So at least 31 points scored, that is. And so what are some of the factors you talk about to the guys each week to prepare, talking about all 3 sides of the ball?
Offensively, want to come out and start fast. Let's score on the first drive. That makes a big impression from there. Defensively, you win the key situations. Anytime the offense would score, the very next drive is a key drive. If you can stop them from scoring, especially force them a 3 and out, that's a big momentum swing there. And also the first drive out of the half. Then on special teams, find a way to either gain field position or gain a possession. So they're all one-play drives at that point. Try to make maximum impact on that. Try to change the game play when you're on special teams.
Awesome.
Now, you guys have been on the road quite a bit. Your last away game will be this Saturday. How have you seen the team grow just as a whole in all 3 sides of the ball as you guys have been on the road so much?
Probably the biggest factor, and I started seeing this when we went out to Indianapolis, was it forces the guys to be together for extended periods of time. So you really saw those relationships start to grow, seeing the guys hang out, and not that they weren't before, but it really kind of widened that net. And as guys do that, they start to gain trust. The chemistry improves. The willingness to sacrifice for teammate, increases from there. And that's really the neat, dynamic behind the scenes. Because if you have that right there in the fabric of your team, you're going to have a very, very powerful team.
All right, and then looking at the future, but of course, only one game ahead. It's 1-0 every week, as the famous saying goes. Looking at Tiffin, what are you preparing your guys for this week, and how are you getting them ready for this conference game, especially to stay undefeated?
Well, I think the first thing we're going to talk about is they scheduled us for homecoming. So I'll make that point to the guys, number 1. Number 2, a very, very dynamic offense, led by a guy I think is probably the best quarterback in the conference, and Alex Johnson. And they also probably have the best tailback in the conference too, and Ronald Blackman. And a really good offensive line. Ethan Holbrook has stepped to a front as far as a really might be one of the best receivers in the conference. He's definitely the best punt returner. And then on defense, ball hawks in the secondary. And you look at their front; they're big up front. So and oh, by the way, their special teams are like ours. They change the game with their special teams. Block kicks, big returns. Changing field position. So a lot of respects. On that part of it, it's like looking in the mirror. But offensively, defensively, they're a handful. They're a handful.
Awesome. Well, thank you, Coach, and of course, good luck this week against Tiffin.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
We'll take a quick break, but don't go anywhere. It's the Doug Geiser Show right here on the Eagle Network.
back to the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3, Episode 8. I'm Kate Crackers alongside Coach Geiser, and now Coach Turnbull is joining us. Coach, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Yeah, it's great to have you on the show. Well, for starters, player turned grad assistant turned coach, talk us through your timeline to being here with Ashland football.
Yeah, it was awesome. I obviously got a chance to play here for 5 years, and I spent a year down at Ohio Dominican, the team we just beat, and then I was fortunate enough, Coach brought me back here 2 years ago.
Well, Coach, why'd you bring him back? What's the reason for it?
If there's somebody that exudes passion for Ashland football, it's Garrett Turnbull. And he was kind of a coach as a player the way it was. Extremely productive, obviously, was an all-league player for us, our leading receiver, and just has a great gift for building relationships and being able to kind of cut through all the BS and say things the way they actually are. And does a great job with the guys, great relationship with them. He's done a great job with the separation because he played with a handful of these guys when he was a player. He's been able to separate, he's been able to teach, and doing a great job with our receivers.
Yeah, and Coach Turnbull too, you mentioned it with facing Ohio Dominican. You coached with them a couple years back. How'd that play into the matchup?
Yeah, it was cool. The only one left out of all the coaching staff that I worked with was the head coach, Kelly Cummins.
Okay.
Everybody else was gone, including myself, so it was all right. I knew some of the players, though.
There you go. Well, you take a look at your time as an Eagle, being such a lethal player in the receiving game. How did you end up translating those skills that you showed on the field to the coaching side?
It's quite simple. I had a lot of great receiver coaches that coached me, through Charlie Fry, Coach Valentine, and then even Coach Burberry. So kind of taking what they taught me and then stuff I've learned along the way, and just passing it down to the younger guys.
Yeah, and you talk about working with the wide receivers. Any guys that have really surprised you this season?
Yeah, our upperclassmen. Obviously we got the young freshman DJ Harvey, but when you got guys that have been here 4 or 5 years, the Gent Josephs, the Jamari Crooms, Akil Martins, and even the young Luke Brenner, all guys have been productive for us in the past, still being productive for us now.
Yeah, and I think you look at what Coach Geiser had mentioned to me earlier today is that unique dynamic of working with these individuals both as players and coaches, and finding that ground of separation. Have you had any of them come to you and be like, hey, what are we now, type deal?
No, it's been great. Like they obviously very respectful, mature guys.
Yeah.
So it's been great being able to just come help them out. Like maybe not like a father figure, but just a big older brother.
Yeah,
so it's been great. It's been great.
And Coach Geiser, Coach Turnbull has obviously been such a pivotal part of this program for so many years now. Mm-hmm. Having that loyalty, what's that like?
The key thing where it really shows up is in recruiting, I think, is when he's out talking to the potential players coming to Ashland. It's not a shtick, it's not a spiel, it's from the heart. He's been here as a player, he understands the culture, he understands the expectations. And there's a sincerity there that may or may not be there if you hadn't lived it yourself. And that's really the great dynamic that I look for and why we like to hire our own and bring them back. We talked about Chris Julian earlier.
Yeah.
And same thing, just being able to speak from the heart in those scenarios, because it really conveys what we're all about. It's about relationships, it's about people, it's about working with people. And Garrett does a great job in that vein.
And Coach Turnbull, I've got to kind of throw it back a little bit here. You joined the program as a freshman back in 2018.
Yeah.
And going through just the humps in the road that come with college, then COVID hits. And I haven't asked anyone else about that because I haven't had the opportunity to.
Sure.
But when COVID hit, what was that like for the football program?
It was. I was hoping to get in and play 4 and get out of here.
Yeah.
Because I came in, I didn't redshirt, and COVID kind of did that to you. But it was rough. We were fortunate enough to play 2 games. We went down to Dayton, and then Saginaw Valley came down to play us.
In the spring,
yeah.
Yep.
In the spring. So it was all right. Obviously a rough spot. We would have been like to been playing, but
Yeah.
then took the last year off at GLIAC and then joined the GMAC. It was great.
Yeah. Any learning things you're able to pull out of COVID? Maybe something that you could use as a player or a coach?
What a weird time it was. I'm not sure if there's much you could take from it other than just handling the chaos, what the defense does. And I worked on defense last year. Just handle the chaos, go with the flow, and make the most out of it.
That was actually my next point. Working on the defensive side, now back to the offensive end where you really do thrive. What was that like to be able to learn multiple different aspects of the team?
It was nice. I spent my first spring at Ohio Dominican on the defensive side. So coming back here, working with the defense, I worked with the nickelbacks, and it was great. I enjoyed it a lot. And obviously working for Coach Rose was a blessing. So it was good. It was nice.
Perfect. And Coach Geiser, shifting him from the defense back to the offensive end. What was that situation like?
Well, Garrett was doing a great job as a graduate assistant, and I'm not sure if I told him this or not. I was already in my head before the wide receiver job came open. I was thinking about ways, what can we do to maybe keep him around this program when he's done being a GA?
Yeah.
And I did not want to lose Evan Barbera. He was doing a heck of a job for us, recruiting and coaching receivers, and he was my DFO. But when it happened, it was like, okay, this was kind of meant to be. And I asked Garrett, and I think it took you about 2 seconds to say yes.
Yeah.
Say it here, but it's a great reward for all the time and the effort he's put in, and kind of a confirmation that he's on the right track as a coach.
Yeah, and Coach Trimble, last question for you. You take a look at your other roles, head JV coach. What does that entail?
Oh yeah, we play 4 games every Sunday. We just finished our last game 2 days ago, so we finished the season 4-0. We play 4 games. That way, no one's got to worry about red shirts and whatnot. But it's a great opportunity for guys to get some stuff on film and just compete. Guys that haven't played in a year, they get to go out there and compete against other people who's not themselves. So it's a great opportunity for our guys, and I enjoy doing it. So it's a good time.
Yeah, I know I said last question, but this truly is the last question now. Tiffin, what do they offer?
They're a good team. They've been good ever since we started playing, or since I've been here playing against them. They're going to be a great team. We got to come ready to play, and yeah, man, they're going to be good. So we got to be ready.
Of course. Well, I appreciate your time today.
Yeah, absolutely, I appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll step aside, join you back here soon. Reminder, you don't want to miss out on what's to come right here on the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3.
At Ashland University, tradition meets innovation. From academic success to championship athletic programs, Ashland University is a place where students discover their passion and prepare for life after college. With small class sizes, dedicated faculty, and an active campus community, Eagles soar higher here in Ashland. This message is brought to you by Barefoot Floors in Ashland, Ohio, serving residential and commercial flooring needs in Ashland and surrounding areas for the past 38 years.
Welcome back to the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3, Episode 8. It's time for our specialty segment. I'm Cade Krakenster alongside Coach Geiser, and it's the Blazin' Challenge. It's time for that, so we're going to get right into it here in a few moments. But I'm going to give you the rules of the Blazin' Challenge before we begin. So participants must eat 10 Blazin' knockout wings in 5 minutes or less. Participants will be timed by the B-Dubs franchise employee or corporate team member. Participants must do the following. 1. Remove all wing meat from the bone with the mouth only, subject to a Buffalo Wild Wings franchise employee's or corporate team member's discretion. 2. Anyone who vomits or regurgitates, yes, it says regurgitates, during the course of the challenge is automatically disqualified, so no regurgitation. 3. No drinks of any kind can be consumed while participating in the challenge, and bathroom breaks are not permitted. And then 4. Other than the wings, during the challenge, participants cannot use any other food, condiment, or sauce, including but not limited to celery, blue cheese, or ranch. Coach Geiser, what do you think?
I'm glad it's not me.
I was thinking the same thing. I know we do have a bet in place right now. If you win the conference, we might end up doing it.
Yeah.
But I'm super grateful it's not us.
Yes.
Right now, that is. So we're going to send it down over to Bryce Gatton, who's going to introduce our contestants, and they can also share what they're raising money for.
Yeah, thanks, Cade. Out here now. So, what's your name?
I'm Andrew Maxwell.
All right, and what are your thoughts on the challenge going into it?
I've prayed at least 15 times today. I'm just ready to get this over with.
Prayed.
All right, and your name?
I'm Josh Serrato.
And what are your thoughts going into the challenge?
I'm absolutely terrified to do this.
And last contestant?
I'm Carter Weibling.
And what are your thoughts going into this one? Heard from your teammates, saw you guys praying, signed the waivers, all that going on, chugging milk before too. So what are your thoughts going in?
I have 4 gallons of milk at home and like a pint of ice cream. So we're just gonna hope that I can make it back to the house after this.
I don't know, Kate. They seem pretty scared right now.
I know. I think it's time to bring out the wings and get this challenge started. A reminder, it's 10 wings in 5 minutes or less as they get ready for the Blazin' Challenge here at Buffalo Wild Wings in Ashland, Ohio. Bryce, you mind asking one of them what they're raising funds for?
So we're in the fraternity Phi Kappa Psi at Ashland, Ohio, Ashland University in Ohio. Our philanthropy for our fraternity is Camp New Hop. They're a special needs kids camp associated with Mohican. We are very well connected with them. The founder of New Hop was a brother of our fraternity a couple years ago, or well, many years ago. We just like to keep them in mind, and whenever we get a chance to help them out, even if it means eating some hot wings, we just like to help them out whenever we can.
I love it. Well, let's hear them count down here, and they'll get started. So 3, 2, and 1. Get started on the challenge, boys. I'm waiting for some instant reactions here. I feel like
same here.
I feel like it's going to get bad real fast. I feel like there's just, oh no. Oh no. Well, they're going ham. So, Coach Geiser, I got to ask you, while they're doing the challenge here, what have you ever done anything like this? Have you ever done any food challenges before?
I have not. No, I have not.
Interesting.
I'm boring.
Okay,
I'm boring,
well, we might end up doing one here eventually.
I have heard of legends of my players at Ashland doing this.
What have they done? This or other ones?
No, it wasn't this. Is when I first got here, there was a rumor. There was a redshirt freshman offensive lineman named Mike Dolphy from Cincinnati Bowler. And there was a rumor. Now, you got to understand, Mike was 6'5", 350 pounds. There was a rumor that he had done the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. challenge in Convo.
Interesting.
He had been there 12 hours.
Is he gagging?
He might be. He's crying.
Oh, he's crying?
They brought
Not
tears
yet?
already.
Oh no. So continue your story, Coach.
Yeah. So Mike was not very loud and boisterous anyway. And when I confronted him about, did you actually do the 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. challenge? He kind of ducked his head and said, "Yeah, Coach, it was true."
Oh my gosh.
This was also the guy that he ate pizza at night, and supposedly at the end of the semester, he had never got rid of any of his pizza boxes.
Oh, that's crazy. That's crazy.
They could not find the remote, and so that's when they had to get rid of the boxes. They couldn't find the remote. It was in one of the boxes.
I love it. Well, Bryce, check in with them. Anyone able to speak? What's going on over there?
Yeah, we're just over a minute and a half into the challenge out of the 5 minutes, and it's been a fun one out here. It started out kind of nice. Everybody seemed to get into it, and then 5 or 10 seconds went by, and then it started to kick in for them. So they're getting through it, taking some deep breaths over here. And
how many wings are gone, Bryce? Do we have a count?
3.
3?
4. Oh, you said 4. Okay.
Is he like? Can he breathe?
There's like maybe 5 or 6 gone potentially out of all 3 of them.
Do we have any crowd predictions on who's gonna bow out first? Anyone out there in the crowd have a prediction? All right, Coach. We talk about eating challenges. Did you ever watch that? I think it was that show. Not Dinners, Drivers, and Dives, but Man vs. Food. Man vs. Food. Have you seen that one? I used to watch with my dad all the time. He would go to crazy places and eat the wildest stuff. Eat the wildest stuff. But I was going to ask you, do you have a favorite food?
Do I have a favorite food? Anything where there's not a lot of effort taken in to eat it. So, like for example, I don't like ribs because there's too much time. It's too much bang. Not enough bang for the buck, I should say.
Understandable. Well. Bryce, I think we have to check in again. I'm seeing some crying and some slamming of the fists on the table.
Yeah, there's a lot of that. There's some feet tapping going on under the table.
Oh, the glasses are
quite
off.
A few contestants. As some sweating going on as well on some of the faces.
Is anyone on pace? Is anyone on pace to finish the challenge?
What? What do you mean? There's no pace.
Yeah, I don't know about on pace to finish the challenge. I don't know about that one, Cade.
I love it. Well, just in case you guys are curious, the prize consists of 1,000 Blaze Reward points and their name on the TV screen. So they can do this. I believe in them. Coach, I think this is making me second guess my decision to say that we should do it.
I'll cross that bridge when it comes.
Exactly.
I will say I will still I'll consent to doing it.
Okay, I will
if
too.
we get there,
I will too, unfortunately. Yeah. But let's get back to kind of our discussion here about the food side of things and some of the favorite foods. You ever have a favorite like home cooked meal from when you were a kid? Anything ring out to you?
Yeah, there was a casserole my mother would make, and it was mashed potatoes on top, and it had Parmesan cheese kind of crusted on top, but underneath it was sauerkraut and sausage.
Interesting.
I can't remember what she called it, but it was tremendous.
That's
it was
awesome.
tremendous. Yeah.
I remember one specifically thing that came out to me when I was a kid was my grandma's mac and cheese. That was always a good one. You know, you can never beat that on like Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Yeah.
And I'd always have her make it for me for my birthday, but that always fell next to Christmas in between Thanksgiving. So it was like a really odd time of the year where I was having like mac and cheese for 3 months straight.
Yeah.
But you know, it is what it is.
Yeah.
4th of July. You a big celebrator of 4th of July? I feel like that's when a lot of food comes out.
You know, burgers and hot dogs. Yeah.
Yeah.
A little bit of potato salad. Yeah, absolutely.
Wings? You a wings guy when it comes to 4th of July?
Yeah, I'll eat wings if they're there, and I'll eat wings if I'm at B-Dubs. Obviously, the best wings ever. But
Bryce, down to you.
We're being summoned, yes.
And we are done.
Did anyone finish the challenge?
No, nobody finished the challenge.
But they got ice cream there?
Yeah, they're handing out ice cream now.
Bryce, please count how many wings are left.
Let's see. Looks like about 10 total between the three are still left.
Okay. That's
not bad.
That's not bad. I'm not upset about that, Coach. Are you?
No,
I think
absolutely.
they did a good job.
I think it was a tremendous effort. Nobody begged out.
Exactly.
Nobody tried to break the rules.
Yeah.
Deserves a round of applause.
I'll say, I told him before, I said, if anyone backs out, I'll be real disappointed. But I said, for the people that do it, for each person that does it, I donate $20 to their cause. So each of you guys,
there you go.
You guys are going back with $60 to Camp New Hop. So a good donation piece there. Bryce, let's hear their thoughts on the post now.
Getting some ice cream now. How'd you started out pretty strong. How do you feel about the challenge now after?
The first wing actually wasn't bad at all. It just kept stacking. It's like, I think just in the middle they put the actual sauce in. I don't know. I feel lied to. It got so much worse.
Interesting. We'll move on now.
Like Andrew said, the first wing is not bad, and then it just goes downhill really, really fast. My mouth is on fire. That was the worst thing I've ever done.
And you got a lot of reactions from the final contestant over here during it. So, how do you feel now after?
He looks the most disheveled.
I'm alive. Beto's make some good wings. Don't do this. Please don't do this.
All right, well, that's all that we have for the Blazing Challenge. We'll step aside. We'll catch back up with one of them later on to talk more about the organization that they're supporting. But for now, we'll join you back here soon and have our player interview up next, right here on the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3.
Budget, save, invest. A plan to help you make smart retirement choices today. Your future self will thank you.
This ad has been provided by Donald M. Graham and Associates, where our dedicated team will help you meet life's complex financial challenges. Call today to schedule your visit at 1-800-322-6116. Securities and advisory services are offered through Commonwealth Financial Network, member FINRA SIPC.
Welcome back to the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3, Episode 8. I'm Cade Crackster alongside Coach Geiser and now tight end Brock Henny. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show. Well, first and foremost, your thoughts on the game this past weekend, the win against Ohio Dominican.
I thought it was a great team win. I think offensively we ran the ball very well, obviously, and defense held up their end too with a nice second half shutout.
Yeah, and Coach Geiser, you mentioned it just now before we began, but he was offensive player of the game for the team. So how'd you feel about that?
I was proud of him. Proud of Brock came in and blocked his tail off for us, and very unsung role in that respect. And that's kind of who he is. Whatever needs to be done, ask him to do it. And he's had a tremendous senior year so far.
Yeah, Brock, and I think the cool thing for you as well is this year you've gotten a lot more involved on the offensive end. Got 6 catches for 155 yards and a touchdown on the season. What has it been like? Being with Cam Blair as your starting quarterback?
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, we both came in together. We've thrown and caught a lot of balls together, and it's just great to see both of us being out there finally on our senior year.
Yeah, and I think the nice thing too is you guys have kind of gotten a 1-2 punch with you and Jonathan Mayer and me. So talk a little about that chemistry that you guys have built up over the year.
Yeah, it's been great. Last year when I went down, I would just try to teach him everything I knew, and he really stepped up. And this year, you know, we're both trading off, you know, giving off each other, so I think it's been great.
The exciting thing too is the rushing game starting to come along as well, really nice. I know Coach Geiser's mentioned that a couple of times this year, how he really wanted to see that be more efficient. Well, it has, and primarily doing it in fact the blocking, and that's something that you're a part of. You know, what's that like to fill up those lanes and get the opportunities for running backs?
It's been great. You know, when I was in high school, I was a receiver, and on Saturday I was thinking, like, I never thought I'd enjoy run blocking so much, and it's just been fun. Like, a lot more important than receiver, I think, or your role is just bigger, where you're not blocking the corner every time. You actually have a more important job, I think. So it's been real fun.
Yeah, and you talk about run blocking. What's the skill to it? What's the technique to make sure that you're doing good on that end?
I mean, you got to have a good base, and you can't just stand up when you're out there. You really got to fire off the line and, you know, keep a low base.
Yeah, and Coach Geiser, how do you make sure that your tight ends are ready to go for not only the receiving game, but also, hey, you got to stand in there and hit a big boy?
Well, you know what? We talk about being the Swiss Army knife on the offense. And I'd add a third guy to that mix, too. You mentioned John, but also Colin Romanowski. All three of those guys kind of a three-headed monster in the room. And, you know, we always talk about this, being a renaissance man as well. You got to be able to block like an offensive lineman. You got to be able to catch like a receiver. You got to be able to run like a running back. You know, but the only thing we don't ask you to do is put a comb in your back pocket like a quarterback does. You know, but being able to, on call, being able to execute any one of those three skills is key to the offense. And when you have once those three guys can do that, it's a very, very powerful weapon for the offensive side of the ball.
Yeah, and Brock, it's your senior season too, you know, and the team's finding a lot of success. I mean, what's your hopes for this final year of your college career?
You know, we're going to try and win every game from here on out. I think we're just trying to enjoy the moment, stay in the present, take it week by week, game by game, and, you know, not look too forward.
Yeah, and last question for you. You know, you take a look at the game against Tiffin this coming weekend. What do they have to offer? What are you hoping to see from the team?
Just another complete game from both sides, all three phases actually. I think there's a handful of guys that remember the trip there 2 years ago. I think that we should all of our focus on Tiffin, you know, that they can beat us, but that's not going to happen this week.
Of course. Well, Brock, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll step aside, join you back here soon. We've got another couple segments more to go before the end of episode 8 of the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3. Welcome back to the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3, Episode 8. I'm Cade Krakus alongside Coach Geiser, and now safety Jelon Jackson. Jelon, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for being here.
Yeah, it's good to have you on the show. Well, first and foremost, obviously a big win for you guys up against Ohio Dominican this past week, and your thoughts on how the team played?
I think we played very well on all three phases. Offense was driving down, scoring. Special teams, we were doing what we do. Defense, making stops. Even though they were able to score a couple times, I think we were able to come out and halftime make those adjustments that we needed to make and stop them completely second half.
Of course, and you know, this year as a whole, I mean, the team's on a roll, getting a lot of big wins, especially up against GMAC opponents. You know, how have you seen the team rally after falling to UND on the road in week 2?
I think we've rallied very well. I think all the teams have been taking it very serious. Everybody's been going to extra film. We've been having players stay after, a lot of young guys asking a lot of questions. So I think that's been like very pivotal for everybody. Since New Indy, definitely detrimental for the team.
Of course, and you know, Coach Geiser, what's been how you've addressed the play on this year so far?
I think he's done a tremendous job. He's kind of stepped up in the role. And the thing I'm probably most impressed and happy with is taking on a leadership role. You know, it's his last go around as a college football player, and the neat dynamic in football is when you help the young guys, you're actually helping guys who are actually trying to compete for your job. but being selfless in that respect, which is one of the things we talk about being a part of the team, and he does that willingly. And to see him, taking a young guy under his wing, like a Damian Johnson or a DeLon Moss or a Tyron Barnes, even Isaac. Isaac's younger than you were.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And giving them the benefit of your knowledge through the years, it's neat to see that dynamic happening, and it makes you proud as a coach when you see that part happen.
Yeah, Angela, I think the interesting thing about your journey is, coming from JUCO. That route is a route you're seeing more and more from kids these days.
Yeah.
From your perspective, what was that process like?
Yeah, it was a long process. At first, I started out as a wide receiver, switched to defensive back, ended up getting an interception my first game and stayed there. So I think that process of junior college to Division II was long, but I was able to transition very comfortably. Coach Geiser brought me in like family, bringing Coach Ash too, somebody that's also from the same state as me, just made it very more like comfortable, and just made it so like I was just able to play football and go to school, what I'm just made to do.
Yeah, and I think the nice thing too is, you joined Coach Geiser's second year, I think it would have been.
Yeah.
So, you don't know where the program's going to be. Obviously, Coach Owens retires. Coach Geiser's first year, what drew you to Ashland?
I would just say Coach Ash was a big part. He was a big fundamental to really bringing me in, being from the same area. I've also played against Coach Ash when I was in high school, so I've known him for a long time. And he was able to just talk to my family and me and really just bring me in and just give me a spot here at Ashland that I could play and be confident in and strive.
Of course, and Coach Geiser, you see a kid like Jalan come in, coming out of JUCO, trying to find his role with the team. What was that process like to see kind of what he was able to become into?
Well, I think kind of what Jalan was talking about there was a trust between Coach Ashley and Jalan even before he came here. From the same area, traveled a similar path, and so he could hang his hat on that. And if Donzel is selling this place, he's speaking from the heart with it. Same thing we talked with Coach Turnbull.
Yeah.
When you're an alum here, you understand what the culture's like, you understand what the expectations are, and I think Jalan, knew he could trust Coach Ashley, and that's what it was all about. And so it's neat to see Jalan's progression since he came here, because usually most people underestimate what Division II football is and the level of talent that you need to be able to play at a high level here. And so I think initially it might have surprised him, but he's taken to it and he's always done his work. And it's been neat to see him playing at the level he's playing at this year, and it's been one of the keys to the secondary.
I was about to say, Jalan, you've been playing out of your mind this year. Week 1 against IUP, getting that interception and starting the year off hot. What was that like for you to kind of get the ball rolling?
It was great. It was great. I mean, it was just everything I've seen from film, going back to like the whole group breaking down film. I literally seen the same play on film, so it was kind of just react. So I think that's just detrimental to our whole DB group, is that we take the film and what we apply to film onto the field very seriously. So we're all able to make plays.
Yeah, and you talk about film, you talk about getting ready for teams week in, week out. What's Tiffin offer you guys?
They offer a lot with running back Blackman. He's very dynamic. Also with a lot of receivers, they got a lot of bigger receivers on the outside, so I think we're going to come up with a good plan to keep them on the inside.
Coach Geiser got asked, did you media train him? He's really well spoken.
He is. No, that's just him. That's his personality. Very gregarious, outgoing, and he'll tell you what he thinks. And that's the neat thing I really appreciate about him, is you can even go to him about the team and chat him up and whatnot, and he'll let you know the real deal.
And what's he been like as a leader in his last year?
It's been tremendous. It's been tremendous to see that growth, and he understands that as an older player, your obligation is not only on the field, it's to help. I mean, you're really talking about your legacy this year. Your last year as a college football player, what do you want it to be? And it can't just be one person, it can't be two, it's got to be a whole group. And to see him as one of the leaders of that back end group, those 5 guys who play with in the secondary, it's made me feel really good about it.
And lastly, Jalan, what makes Ashland so special?
I think Ashland is just our family and brotherhood. We really take being a brotherhood serious. We do everything as a family. We pray as a family. We eat as a family. And from somebody that's out of state, I think it's just very important. And that's what makes Ashland Ashland to me.
Great. Well, I appreciate your time today.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll step aside, join you back here soon. You don't want to miss out on what's to come right here on the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3, Episode 8. Welcome back to the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3, Episode 8. I'm Cade Krakish alongside Coach Geiser, and now Josh Serrata, who was competing in the Blazing Challenge earlier. Josh, how you feeling?
Oh, I feel a lot better now, but like in the moment, it sucked really bad. It's probably one of the worst things I've ever done.
Well, we were talking a little bit before it started on what the flavor is. You mind explaining that to the audience and what makes it so bad?
Yeah, it tastes like buffalo sauce at first, and then it just stacks. Like it just gets to a point where there is no flavor. It's just pure heat and pain.
Well, you know, obviously, too, the reason why you guys were doing it was for a cause. Do you mind explaining what that is for?
Yeah, so we're doing Dares for Donos this week, and all the donations go towards our local philanthropy. We're in a fraternity called Phi Kappa Psi here on campus, and Camp New Hop is our local philanthropy. Camp New Hop was created by one of our brothers. He graduated back in the 60s or 70s, and he started a special needs camp over the summer for kids with special needs. It's a place for them to go and really be who they are and be around people who are kind of like them as well.
Yeah, and do you know what like the money that people donate goes to there?
So it will go towards any money that they might need if it comes towards getting paying for students to go there over the summer, paying for equipment that they might need as well. So anything that they might need that money for, they'll be able to use it.
Yeah, very good cause too. And you know, Coach Geiser, we always like to have you know, community riddled things like that on the show, just because Ashland and Ashland University as a whole is founded on the community aspect for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, Josh, my final thing for you: would you ever do it again?
If it's for raising money, I will, but in my own free will, probably not.
Do you think you'll ever eat wings again?
Oh, for sure.
Okay, so it didn't scar you off too much. All right, well, we'll step aside, join you back here soon for our final segment, but kudos to you, Josh, kudos to Carter, and kudos to Andrew, as we'll step aside, join you back here soon, right here on the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3. Welcome back to the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3, Episode 8. I'm Cade Krakish, joined alongside Coach Geiser. It's the final segment, Coach.
Yep, absolutely. I'm excited to see you try these wings.
I was just about to say, well, it's time to preface it. I paid $60 to have them do the challenge and give that money towards donations towards Camp New Hop for their fundraiser. And then Carter Weibling, one of the contestants, his mom matched the donation that I put in. And I said that if, you know, I'll have a wing. I'll have one wing. But now there's two in front of me. I don't know what to do. But I'll have one of these wings here in this final segment. But the goal is I have to eat this one wing to finish the segment. We can't end it until I'm done eating it.
Absolutely.
So, you know, Coach Geiser, this segment's all based around, you know, talk about this coming week. You say 1-0 every week. I got to go 1-0 against this wing. You got to go 1-0 against Tiffin. I don't know what the harder challenge is. However, let's talk about Tiffin. What do you think of Tiffin? What have you seen so far?
What I've seen, very good team on tape. This is the team that earlier in the year, they played Ferris very, very well. Ferris jumped on them. They came back and were in a position to win the game at the end. So that was very, very, very impressive. Very, very impressive. The last couple weeks they played Thomas More. Took it to him last week as well. And well, let's see. You're very interesting reactions right now. I don't know if your face is turning a little green right now.
Yeah.
Is that true? Is that in commemoration of us playing Tiffin this week?
It is.
Okay. Yeah.
Speaking of Tiffin, when you take a look at their film and the players that they have, who stands out? Who should he only be on the lookout for?
Okay, that's I'm impressed right now, being able to conduct an interview and also eat the wing in a Hot Wings Challenge. So
I've been training for this moment my entire life.
Okay. As far as guys in the team, I think it first starts with their quarterback, Alex Johnson. Tremendous quarterback, first team all conference returner. Kind of the straw that stirs the drink. Are you going to make it?
I'm good.
Okay. They got Ron Blackman, who's the leading rusher in the conference right now. Ethan Holbrook is one of the leading receivers, also leading punt returner. So very dynamic on the offensive side of the ball, one of the best offensive lines in the league. And then defensively, very opportunistic, very dynamic and very explosive as well on the defensive side of the ball.
And some would say that your team's on fire this season.
Like your mouth is right now.
Yeah, like they've been on fire as of Oh my gosh. Talk a little about what...
I can smell the heat, by the way.
Talk a little about what the team has been like in the locker room to be able to piece together 5 wins on the season and, fight through, what people would call adversity. Yeah.
You gonna make it?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. Well, with us, as you can imagine, we really just kind of look at the 1 week at a time. We don't look at the big picture here until we get to the end of the season.
Yeah.
So hey, you want to know this week? Turn the page. Let's go 1-0 next week. Don't look back. Don't look forward at this point. Just stay right in the moments, and that's what a team like Tiffin really deserves. They deserve our full attention because they're a really, really good football team.
Yeah, and the running game, something we've talked about a lot this season. They've really started to piece together some good results in back-to-back games. Mm-hmm. Your thoughts on how the running back room has really evolved as the year's gone on?
It's neat to see the dynamic of the competition. They know if they're getting carries early, they better perform, or they might not get the carries later in the game. So it really, really helps. That aspect of the production is helped tremendously because they know they got to get it done, or it's maybe on to the next guy.
Speaking of got to get it done, I got to get this done.
You're getting there. You're getting there.
It's so hot.
Now your face is red. The green's gone.
Coach Geiser, Cam Blair, he's played great.
Yes, he has.
Your thoughts on how he's emerged as QB1?
He's done a tremendous job. He's been a leader from day one, and now he's shaking the rust off. And we knew it would take a little bit of time from the beginning of the season, and he's kind of made the team his own, and he's played like a captain, and he's basically done whatever we need him to do every week.
And how do you ensure that he's ready to go, for every team that's going to be in the picture? Because in theory, obviously he's been around the program for 5 seasons, but it's pretty much like throwing out a fresh guy, with it being a starting season.
Yeah.
How do you make sure he's ready to go?
Well, you know what? He makes sure he's ready to go because it's preparation he puts in with the film study he undertakes, the extra time before practice, after practice, working with the receivers, working with the running backs, working with the tight ends. The preparation has been the key for him, and it's been nice. That's been a nice confirmation of all the work he's put in.
Yeah, and the thing is too, traveling to Tiffin. You guys aren't back at home yet. Also, their homecoming. Mm-hmm. What does that challenge present?
Well, when you're playing a team that is won the GMAC more than anybody else since the GMAC has offered football, that's a challenge unto itself, no matter where you play them. But they are especially salty, really, really good in their home stadium, and it's really going to test us. It's really going to test us this week, and hopefully we're up to the challenge.
Well, Coach, I finished my one, so that means it's the end of the show.
You going to make it?
I'm not eating the other one.
Okay.
You want it?
No, I told you what my stipulations for that challenge.
I was just curious. I was just curious. But that's all that we've got for this rendition of the Doug Geiser Show, Year 3. We had a great one, Coach. We had a good show.
I'm feeling great right now.
I need a water. I and some milk. But a big thank you to Jelon Jackson, Brock Henney, Garrett Turnbull, and yourself, Coach, for joining us on the Doug Geiser Show today.
I appreciate you.
We're going to catch you guys next week. I got to go.